Welcome to the Crimson Engine. My name is 𝙁𝙁𝙇. Today we are talking feature films, my feature film, and why embarking on such a project is so intimidating. In one of these videos, we're going to sit down with the first AD and go through the schedule that we've got for this film. But in the short term, I just wanted to talk about how intimidating and how overwhelming a feature film can be, especially if you haven't done one before. This is my second feature, and I have to say it doesn't make it any less intimidating. It still is 18 shoot days spread over a month, 10, 12 hours a day, back to back, loading in gear, loading out gear, getting very little sleep. It's great when you're in your 20s, you can kind of power through. I'm 41, so I'm not really able to stay creative and survive on 3 hours of sleep, at least not for a month. So that means I have to plan the movie very carefully and try and maximize the chances that I'll not die. Part of the reason that shooting a feature can be so overwhelming, just writing one can be so overwhelming, because it's not just one idea. It has to be a whole bunch of congruent ideas woven together in a big script, with characters, with dialogue, with plot. It all has to make sense. You have to then have something that's good enough to send out to people that they want to be involved for much less than they could be making somewhere else. And then you need to get each one of those. Essentially, if there's 20 scenes or 25 scenes, I think we have. So you'll be doing most of the time you'll be doing one a day. Sometimes you'll be doing two a day. And each one of those scenes is a short film. Essentially, it's two characters in a location. It has to get across something for that scene. The scene has to convey what it's in the script to convey. Either it's information or it's mood or it's character. It's moving the script and the plot forward. But unlike shooting short films, which I've done plenty of, a heap of them are on this channel, where you have a day to shoot it, you rock up to location, you light it, you work with the actors, you get, hopefully you get what you came for. In a perfect world, you get something better than you would imagine. And then you pack up, you go home, you look at the footage the next day, you cut something together. You're like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done this. I'm glad this happened, I'm glad this didn't happen. On a feature film, it's 25 of those back to back. And there's no time to breathe. There's no time to kind of lick your wounds and put yourself back together, because every day is another scene or another two scenes. This is why it helps so much to be shooting in a single location. Like Reservoir Dogs all takes place in that one warehouse, or Saw takes place mostly in that basement. What's so great is that if you're in one location continuously, somehow the day before didn't really work for whatever reason, you can always pick it up the next day or pick it up after another scene. If you're quicker on something, you can pick it up on the next day. But shooting like we're shooting, where you're in a different place almost every day, it can be really, just thinking about it can be really overwhelming. And I think the solution to that is preparation. So you're storyboarding, you're pre-visiting scenes, you're workshopping them with actors. You're basically getting to the point where all the big decisions and all the big creative leaps have already been made. And you're really showing up on set on the day just to capture those. So there are film directors, some great film directors actually, that work in the moment. Ang Lee is one, Wong Kar-wai is one, where they have an outline of what the scene could be, and then they get to set, and once they see the actors in wardrobe in the location, then they change their mind and kind of guide the story where it goes. That's wonderful if you have an essentially unlimited budget, and you can just keep shooting and shooting and shooting until you get what you want. When you're working on an independent short film, you do not have that luxury of time unless you're shooting the whole movie in one room. Where the way we're doing it, it all needs to be planned out, it all needs to be agreed upon, everyone needs to be across everything, and you're just showing up to shoot it, get it as quickly as you can, hopefully do 5-6 takes. Basically, I do The first couple takes are everyone getting into the groove of things. Take 3 and 4 often the best, but you do a take 5 and 6 to see if it's either going to keep getting better or it's getting worse. If it's getting worse, great, you got it in take 3 and 4. If it's getting better, then you usually shoot until you have to move on. But there's none of this Stanley Kubrick take 216, just, grinding down the actors so you find something on the other side of spontaneity. I don't know what that's about. On my previous feature film, Brooklyn Tide, we only had 12 days, and if the dialogue came out of the actor's mouth correctly and we got it on the camera, we were moving on. There was no time to finesse anything. There was no time to really get into the groove of things. I had amazing actors and that worked out well. But there were some scenes that I shot in that movie that I was like, oh, this is okay, I guess. And you just hope that the power of the story and the script carries you through. This time we will have a lot more time. We'll have a lot more preparation. I've been working on this film almost every day for 2 years now. So I'm really familiar with the way that it works, the dynamics of it. And now I just have to get other people across that and, bring this thing to life. If you are a filmmaker and you've been working in this industry for a long time and you want to shoot a feature film, my advice would be to shoot something mid-length, shoot like a 20-minute movie over like a 3-day weekend, and see how you're able to keep up to pace, see how you're able to get what you want, how quickly. And only experience will give you that indication. You can't be, well, I've never done this before, but I'm hoping this is the way it'll work. It takes, especially with longer scenes, to know how much you can get in a single take. Can you move the camera through this, like a 6-page scene? Can you get 4.5 pages on this angle, 5 pages on that angle, and kind of overlap things and get it in an hour? You also have to make decisions about how precisely or cinematically do I want this lit? Do I want this very noir with high contrast ratios? Do I want every shot very particular? That slows you down a lot. TV gets about 10 pages a day. Feature films get about 3 pages a day. The reason is that feature films have to look like feature films. They can't look like television. They can't look flat and episodic. They need to look cinematic. They need to have those 3, 4, 5 lights on every shot. They need to be, sitting there, moving this way, moving this way. No, the ratio is just a little off. I've got to move it again. I've got to move my fill out. It takes time to get good images, but you can always you can just keep playing with the image again and again and again and never shoot anything. So at some point you have to arrive at a look that you can get within a reasonable amount of time. I'm excited. I'm really, going into the new year now. I'm sort of looking down the barrel of this, and, every day is an adventure, and I'll just keep you guys in the loop. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.